Welcome back. Having learned the bubble sort, we're looking at some variations on it, and this will teach us a little bit about how sort routines work. Make sure you understand the bubble sort before going any further. In this lesson, we're going to look specifically at how swaps are used inside sort routines, and we're going to look at two ways of doing swaps: the Python way, which is called tuple substitution, and the longer method that has to be used in languages that don't have tuple substitution. Here's the bubble sort in Python. This is the bubble sort program, but what we're doing will work equally well with a bubble sort procedure or function. Remember that any sort routine requires us to swap values, and we keep swapping until the list is sorted. This is the line where the swapping occurs. This uses a method called tuple substitution. When we swap using tuple substitution, the two values overwrite each other, and so a single line of code will swap the two values round. So CA becomes AC. For example, a single line of code has swapped the two values. So Python makes swapping easy because it's got a feature called tuple substitution. This isn't available in all programming languages, and particularly if you're doing the A-level, this method is not available in pseudocode, the standard pseudocode that will be used in the exam. Therefore, if you see swapping in the exam, it will be done using 3 lines of code and a temporary variable. So this is a slightly longer way of doing swapping. It works in diagrammatic form like this. We've got the two values, C and A. We store A as a temporary variable. Then we overwrite A with C. And then finally, we put the temporary value into the original position. So A overwrites C. So it's a 3-step process. We have to store one of the values, then overwrite it, and then copy it back over. This has the same effect as tuple substitution, but it takes 3 lines of code. See if you can write that code now. Here's 3 lines of code that swap mylist0 and mylist1. First, we store mylist1 to a temporary variable. Then we overwrite it with mylist0. And finally, we store the temporary variable value into mylist0. This is called the 3-step swap. So this was a very short presentation, short lesson. We've learned that sorting algorithms require swapping values. In fact, they all require that. And there's a simple way of doing that in Python called tuple substitution, but you should be aware of the alternative, which is a 3-step substitution. So it's important to know about 3-step substitution. So I'm leaving you with the task to take one of your bubble sort programs that you've written and adapt it to remove the tuple substitution and use the 3-step swap instead. Okay, so we'll continue with programming and variations of the bubble sort in the next lesson. So bye for now.